As you can see, when going up, you see a lot of porcelain items, which is of course normal because this is Arita, so we have a lot of things from made from porcelain. This shrine is actually built in the 17th century. It was ordered by the Nabeshima Han, which was a feudal clan that was the leader of this area in that time. At that time, it had a different name, but in 1871, when the whole system of these clans stopped, the shrine was called the Suiyama Jinja. And the characters, the Japanese characters for Suiyama, can also be read as Tozan Jinja. So the local people usually call it the Tozan Jinja. This is also a famous spot for cherry blossom. People love to come and picnic here, and in cherry blossom season, a lot of photographers come to take pictures of the cherry blossom covering the railroad and a train going through there. Most important though of this shrine is that there is a porcelain torii, the torii gate that is in front of all the shrines in Japan. This one is made out of porcelain, and there's only 3 in the whole of Japan that are made out of porcelain, and they all come from Arita. Let's go and have a look. After a steep climb, you get to the top. So we're at the top of the staircase, and there you find this torii gate that you can find in front of many shrines. The special thing about this is it's not made of wood or steel, it's made out of porcelain, and it's very old. It was damaged by several typhoons, and this year they got enough money from all the local people to restore it in its former glory. So now it's looking the best it can. There are also the guardian dogs that are usually in front of shrines. Those are also very old and made out of Arita porcelain. This torii is one of the only 3 in the whole of Japan that is made out of porcelain, and all of them come from Arita. And there's one more important thing about this shrine, is that behind the shrine, if you would climb up to the top of the hill, there is a monument for Ri Sanpei, the Korean potter who found the clay at Izumiyama, and he brought the techniques to make a lot of porcelain in Arita area. At that moment they didn't know how to make porcelain yet, so he was the one that taught all the techniques. So even above the gods, you can find a monument for Ri Sanpei. It's been there since 1917, for about 300 years of Arita porcelain's anniversary, and now we're about 100 years further down the road, and the monument is still up there. When you climb up, you have a perfect view over the town and how it's surrounded by all the hills that used to have the ascending kilns. Okay, we're at the Tanigama, the remains of an ascending kiln. Arita is covered in ascending kilns. Ascending kilns use the slope of a mountain to build chambers for each firing. So all the chambers are connected going up the hill. That's why it's called an ascending kiln. Of course, the first chamber is the hottest one, but the heat of the kiln will go down while the air is going up. So for each stage of the firing, you can use a different chamber of the ascending kiln. There's plenty of ascending kilns, the remains of ascending kilns all around Arita. They produce a whole lot of porcelain during this period. When porcelain wasn't what they expected it to be, it was broken or it was crooked, they would break it and throw it away on the spot. I picked up some pieces around this area. These kind of pieces you can find around all of these kilns. These are products that used to be made, but they weren't good enough or they were broken. So they were thrown away right into nature. If you would start digging all around Arita, you would find so many pieces, different layers, different periods. We even have a lot of researchers researching all of these shards, from where they are, which period they were made, which kiln made them, which producer made them. The kiln was so enormous that it was not for just one kiln, for just one company. So a lot of people would bring their porcelain here to have it fired. And you can only imagine how much wood that would cost, how many people were involved in firing the kiln to a certain degrees, and packing the kiln and taking out all the stuff out of the kiln. So these kind of areas you can find all around Arita, and they show you how booming the business was in Arita during the Edo period. Assembling kilns they don't use anymore. We have a few left in the town. During special occasions they are fired. Definitely come and see for these special occasions to see assembling kilns being fired.